The ocean is a source of stunning secrets, but also many dangers. Marine biologist Nan Hauser dedicated her career to underwater exploration, but a harrowing incident with a humpback whale challenged her beliefs. Despite this, she and her team remain certain that the ocean is perilous. Nan Hauser initially trained as a nurse, but her passion was always in marine biology. For the past 30 years, she has focused on studying humpback whales and is considered a leading expert in the field. Her extensive knowledge of these mysterious creatures has made her a well-known figure in the industry. Nan worked her way up to become the president of the Center for Cetacean Research and Conservation, while still conducting field work. In 2018, her planned snorkelling expedition generated excitement as she has been a frequent presence in films and on TV channels such as Animal Planet, Discovery Channel, National Geographic, and Smithsonian. Nan is a renowned figure in the field of life science. Little does she know her career would take a dramatic turn, nearly resulting in her death during a dive recorded by a film crew for a documentary. They captured more footage than they could handle. Nan's decades of experience taught her to respect the power of humpback whales. Despite her affection for them, she was aware of their potential danger. She had had close encounters before, but never yielded to the temptation to touch them, knowing it was best to keep her distance. Even with her extensive safety knowledge, that doesn't mean that danger is impossible. Nan and her fellow diver have full control of their movements, even with a camera in. That's how they capture such incredible footage themselves. However, there's nothing you can do about the animal's behavior. That dive, the two of them and the crew above saw the strangest and most dangerous behavior from a humpback whale. Keep in mind that Nan and her colleagues were prepared for almost anything, but never expected their animal subject to target the divers. She recalled the giant kept nudging her and had me rolling around his body, really trying to tuck me under his pectoral fin. Nan tried to swim away, but with little success. The marine biologist feared for her life as the whale pushed her about with its fins, closed mouth, and back. For a 50,000-pound mammal, that's a rough ride for the target. The crew above feared the worst. The documentary crew had drones recording additional angles for perspective, but soon after the humpback came after the divers, they shut them off, in fear they would record her untimely death. It seemed this expedition would make headlines for all the wrong reasons. The whale repeatedly pushed Nan to the water's surface, where to everyone's relief she made her escape. They pulled the shell-shocked Hauser aboard the boat. She later admitted, "I've been underwater with whales for 28 years, and this is just really unusual behavior. It's crazy." Fear descended upon them as the whales surfaced along with her, but the gargantuan creature faded away back into the depths. That left everyone wondering what had really happened and why. Nan soon put the pieces together. As the crew rushed to shore to tend to Nan's wounds, the biologist believed she knew why the whale kept coming after her, and she was grateful for it. In those 10 minutes that felt like hours for her, Nan saw it. There was a deadly shark not too far away, as Nan was being tossed about by the humpback and struggling to escape. She happened for a moment to spot another creature off. In the distance, Nan could tell exactly what the ocean dweller was by the way it moved. Whales move their tails up and down, while sharks move side to side. Based on those movements, Hauser realized she was dealing with a tiger shark, one of the deadliest. It's been reported that tiger sharks are responsible for more recorded attacks on humans than any other shark, aside from the great white. Nan was well aware of where the danger truly was, and it was not with the humpback whale. Nan was convinced the whale was trying to protect her from the tiger shark. Whales are known to be protective of smaller mammals. They've even been seen shielding seals under pectoral fins to protect them from predators. But never before has there been a recording of a humpback protecting a human, leaving many unconvinced. Some say there's little evidence to prove that Nan's humpback friend was trying to save Nan. There's the question of whether it would behave the same way if the shark wasn't there. Skin evidence of this strange behavior leaves a great deal of speculation. Nan still has faith in the humpback. Nan Hauser is well aware of the possibility that she could be wrong, but that doesn't stop her from believing. She and her colleagues hope that the footage they were able to capture expands research and awareness of such actions from whales. One thing for certain is there is more to learn. For Nan, the experience has been enlightening. She admitted, "I've spent the past 28 years protecting whales, and at the moment I didn't even realize that they were protecting me." To Hauser's point, she's not the only ocean expert who's seen a humpback pull off on extraordinary feat. Like Nan, Michael Fischbach is deeply passionate about wildlife photography. To satisfy this passion, he embarks on an annual trip with friends and family to photograph various whale species in their natural habitat. He co-founded the Great Whale Conservancy, which raises awareness and advocates for marine conservation. Michael is not afraid to approach these giant creatures, as evidenced by a Valentine's Day trip in the Sea of Cortez, where he encountered one floating near his boat's surface. Worried the animal needed assistance, Michael and his crew discovered a seemingly lifeless humpback whale. Heartbroken at the sight, they were relieved to hear the whale exhale loudly through its blowhole, signaling distress. Michael quickly donned a snorkel and cautiously entered the water. Upon inspection, he found the whale entangled in a gillnet, restricting its movements and holding it captive 15 feet below the surface. Its pectoral fins were tied to its body, its dorsal fin entangled, and its tail trapped in the gear. Recalling eye contact with the trapped, near-death whale, Michael was overwhelmed by the sight of such a magnificent creature in peril. Despite successfully freeing its dorsal fin from the netting, he felt it was too risky to continue aiding the distressed animal. He only had a small knife and there was too much material to remove. Michael swam back to the boat to radio for help. He was told that perhaps in an hour someone would be able to reach them. But the news sounded bleak. Michael knew that the whale might not make it if they waited for reinforcement to arrive. He looked to his crew and everyone knew what had to be done, as quickly and safely as possible. The crew began hauling and cutting the net systematically. They were careful, knowing the whale needed to have the ability to breathe in order to survive the rescue. The crew was able to release one pectoral fin, which gave the whale a sense of freedom. But then she began to pull away and swim off with the net still attached to it. The crew held on tight as the whale pulled them about a half-mile through the Sea of Cortez. Finally, the whale grew tired and the crew quickly began to work again. They knew if they couldn't free your tail, then their efforts would be useless. The crew didn't give up as they continually hauled and cut the gill net as the whale's tail twisted and turned. They struggled with hauling and cutting the remaining net until finally the tail was free. It was no longer weighted down with all of that fishing net. The crew was overjoyed with their success as they cheered and embraced one another. The team watched as the whale swam freely, breaching out of the water in a display of gratitude 500 feet from the boat. Naming the whale Valentina after the holiday, they observed the show thanks for an hour as the grateful creature remained close to the surface and to its rescuers. A young child aboard commented, "Mommy, I know what she's doing." Valentina's display of freedom left no doubt for those who witnessed it. Michael Fischbach and his team were ecstatic about rescuing the whale on that day.